Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to my end of year video vlog. And today's topic is how my 2025 went and self-reinvention. Okay, where should I begin? 2025. It's funny that every year we say that the year before the new year, it's the most lessons we've learned, and we feel like this is the year that taught us a lot about life, and the following year will be the application for it. And that's true, but I personally think that my 2025 is the one that has most lessons, most mistakes, achievements, and overall it's an experience that truly will shape my entire life. This is the year that has most rejections, personal mistakes, and it felt like it's an entire movie on its own. It's not a chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, or sequel number 1, 2, 3, whatever. I honestly think that my 2025 is like a solid book. And why is that? To begin with, it's a time where I left my job for 3 years and relationships broken, whether friends or intimate relationship, and most of it is somehow influenced by my decisions, and some are right, some are wrong, but I've grown to realize that you have to own up to your decisions. Whether it's right or wrong, you have to own up to it, and it's high agency. And I'm glad to say that I'm more self-aware, and what I meant about saying that I'm self-aware is not I know whatever I'm doing in my life. No, what I meant about that is I'm aware of what I'm doing in my life. I may not know or have full control on. This guy just beat the red light. No, that's 2025 for you. Anyway, I may not have like full control of my decisions at times, because sometimes the situations are greater than my capabilities, right? But I learned to know that I have to take 5 to 10 seconds and actually really reflect, not even reflect, just to think through before I do an action. And that is one of the biggest lessons that I've learned this year. And next is knowing that everything will be okay, that everything is worthwhile, because especially in the creative field, you feel like you want everything to be instant. You always say that, oh, but I've done this and I should receive the fruits of my labor now. Like everything is now. But I realized this year that it may take a year, 2 years, half a decade, an entire decade to actually get you to where you wanted to be. And that for me, the skill set that I'm building to myself is media, filmmaking, photos, creative direction, all of those. And I realized that every year the skill set keeps on adding. But again, you're gonna ask, but where is this gonna lead to? And that is an area that I can speak about now. The culmination of all my skill sets that I've accumulated for the past more than half a decade now. And I started working, or I became a co-founder of Viband. And Viband is I've known about Viband as a magazine, but through the years, just like ourselves, it keeps on evolving. And now it's a venture company that explores digital solutions, media, softwares, and all of those. And I'm so grateful that I became part of it. And it only started this year, me being a co-founder and working with Viban. I realized that your skills are not wasted, or your skills are not wasted if you have, wait, where am I going with this? Scratch that. Your skills are always intact in you, that no matter what happens, whether you get a job right at the moment or whatever the case may be, it's still part of who you are, and it's still going to continue to be part of who you are, and it's gonna be your rapport. And that rapport that I'm building, that I thought that is wasted or it's pointless, it is the same exact reason why I became a co-founder of Viban. And that's one of the biggest achievements, in my opinion, that I've had this year, is to know that all the skills that I've been working on for more years than I'm in high school is actually, there's an end of the light. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, is what I'm saying. I'm still gonna work on my analogies. But yes, and it's the same time around when I left my company of 3 years. I was a videographer for a luxury magazine, and that in of itself, it's a great opportunity, honestly, and not a lot of people will be privileged enough to meet and work the people that I've worked with. It's the people that I've never known that I'm gonna, let alone, work to, but be a friend with. And I've had that opportunity, but there's gonna be a point in your life or in your career that you say that I'm meant for something bigger, something much more of service to the bigger scope of things. And I've decided to quit my company, my past company, and I've decided to join forces with Viban. And with Viban, I realized that I can do whatever I put my mind into, that the potential is limitless, that I'm worth it, that I am someone of value, that I am someone that can provide quality service, quality stories, and not look at the mirror and say that, or question yourself in the mirror if you are deserving of whatever you have in life. And I'm not saying that my past company was that. What I'm saying is life in general, and the reason why it is, the change is that the environment in Viban is different. Is I want to thank Kuya Raf, Kuya Brian, two Brians, Kuya Will, Andy, Jaira, Kenneth, and all of the individuals in the Viban team that truly believed in me when I was slowly, my trust in myself, or my belief in myself, is slowly depreciating. And there was a time during this year that I felt like, is this career still worth pursuing? Is where I'm going still worth going to? And the realization that I had also was, maybe it's the environment that has to change, not you. And obviously you need to be self-aware still on whether you're working on something, or whether you're a good person or not a bad person, I mean, is because sometimes people keep on saying that, no, be who you are, you have to be authentic with yourself. But what if the person who you are, or the authentic self that you are, is like stupid bitch? And or what if the person who you are, there's not, I mean, obviously we have a lot of things to work on, but is what if the person who you are is not the actual reason why you're not improving or growing, and maybe it's an environment situation. And when I got into the Vibrant environment, I'm proud to say that, you know, I've changed. That the year or half, 6 months of being in Vibrant, 6 months is where we actually started pushing. So within that 6 months, I've learned more than when I have been in my previous company of 3 years. And Kuya Will said it best, that the reason why it was like that because I was in the trenches. I was fighting each and every day, and it's true. And that also got me to realize, and yes, you're probably thinking that this video should be titled as Realization, but the biggest realization that I had was, the more responsibilities, the more agency that you have in your life is when you're gonna grow the most. And when I started with Vibe, they gave me roles that is way outside of my comfort zone, in a sense that I've never been in that position before. I love change, I love challenges. I've took it in, but you can't ignore the fact that you're a beginner at a field, or a beginner at anything, because you can't start, basketball tomorrow and know that you're the best player already. And people work decades, and people likeness of, I don't know, LeBron James, they still work their ass off each and every day to hone in their craft. And if it is us being the first day on whatever field or sport or career you've decided to pursue, you're not gonna be great at it. If anything, you're gonna be super horrible at it. But I think it's good. And that's a big lesson that I've learned on my filmmaking or media journey. Is I started when I was really young, grade 6. I don't know what age I was, but on 6th grade, I started doing photos. And even up until now, I'm still working on it, but you can see the progress. You can see that each and every single photo, every day, and if you accumulated it for half a decade, more than a decade in my case, is you can see that the progress is there, that it compounds. The energy, the skill, the effort compounds, and you can see it on the present. And that's something that I'm proud that I've learned to apply to my personal life, because I do believe in the saying that how you do everything is how you do anything. And that philosophy of, you're gonna start as a noob, but you're gonna keep on getting better every day. And I've already applied that to my life in general, not only in filmmaking. And that's one of the biggest values that I've learned this year, and to actually hone that in, to have a structure in life, have a structure in how you approach things. Because it's easy to just start without a plan or without a structure to it, and it's difficult because, and obviously I do believe that starting is better than not doing, but there will come to a point where you have to start good. You have to start properly, because there's also a saying that practice is practice, but good practice makes perfect. Because sometimes we just do the practice, we just keep on going every day, but we're not boosting or not leveling up our efforts towards it. For example, in the gym, like you can lift 25 kilos, for example, and if you lifted 25 kilos for the entirety of your life, you're not gonna grow your muscle because you're not maximizing the input, you're not increasing the input. And it's the similar thing with life. And I'm really grateful that I'm in a position now that I'm surrounded by great people that will tell me if I'm doing wrong and can explain what I'm doing wrong and can help me out, figure out on how to do it right. Because in the past we live in a in the past I've kept on experiencing that, saying that, oh, this is wrong, I don't like this, but they can't fucking explain why it is. And it's not inspiring, you know. I always say that I don't mind being a soldier as long as I'm with great generals. Because sometimes, most of the times, we are always under people that are not in good governance. And that's real in actual politics or in life as well. We are always surrounded by people that say, change, you're not good, you're not this or that, but they can't explain how. And one thing that I've realized too is you need to actually, opinions depends on who you ask as well. And what I meant by that is you can't ask an architect their opinion on filmmaker. I mean, you can, but the opinions of a filmmaker versus an architect or a chef will really be different between a filmmaker. What I'm trying to say is sometimes you have to see the validation, or not validation, see the credibility of the ones giving an opinion, because it's hard to get an opinion. It's difficult to ask for an opinion about finance to a broke person, and it's difficult to ask an opinion about physical fitness to a person of obesity. Because for the longest time I've kept on asking for advices and opinion to the wrong people, and most of the times I hold it dearly, their opinion. And obviously all opinions matter, but it's good to filter out the good ones, the bad ones, and the ones to actually consider. And I still also believe that we should listen to everything, but it doesn't need to be, we have to listen, but we don't have to take in whatever we're listening to. And yes, I know that I don't have a script for this topic. I just going on the top of my head. And okay, maybe let's start with the achievements. This is the most interesting part of this year. Is I used to weigh success or achievements in numbers, in results in a sense that, oh, I should win this award by this time, or I should land this job, or I should make this X amount of money. This year I learned that success and achievement is not all numbers. The biggest success that I've had is my self-growth. I've learned to believe in myself again, to trust myself again, and to actually allow myself to explore myself, to explore my capabilities, to explore my potential, to explore the bad and the good of my life. And it's really freeing to know that you're not perfect. It's freeing to know that you're subject to change. And it's also freeing to know that you are in control of your thoughts, the situation, how you react to a situation. We might not be able to control our life, but we can control aspects of it, aspects of the decision making. Whether we decide to wake up early and, go to our routine, and routine that is curated on how to better yourself. For example, I wanted to strive in the media world. And what does that look like? I have to be media literate. I have to know the aspects of media that can help me to become a better media person. And I know saying media person is vague, because I am currently in that intersection of like, okay, I want to be in media, but where should I start? And once you've decided on where to start, that's another topic. Because everything there's no linear path. And media is not different. It's the same thing. And so yes, going back to the achievements and how I frame how one of my achievements is curating my life. And curating it is, okay, deciding what is important and taking out the noise, the unimportant things, because we're always, we try a lot of things in hopes of being better at all of them all at once. Like, you want to be, and in my personal experience, I wanted to be this 5 different industries, and I'm doing it each and every single day, and I wanted to be great at it all at the same time. And I realized, like, what the hell am I doing? This is not working, because it's kind of like gardening 5 different gardens far from each other and expecting that they're all gonna bloom all at the same time. And you can do that with a factory, with a team with you. But if you're just a single person gardening each garden, 5 different gardens, just by yourself, that's extremely difficult. And the most difficult part of it is looking at yourself and saying, but I'm doing enough, I'm doing this, I'm gardening 5 different gardens. Where's the result? I'm doing the effort. But sometimes you have to be pragmatic. I had to be pragmatic to know that you are only one person to begin with. In my journey, I'm just a single person approaching my life. And you have to actually allocate where your resources will go, what your capacity is. Because it's easy to blame ourselves for not doing enough, but we're not looking on what we're actually doing, if our input is right. And that's one of the biggest lessons that I've learned, is looking at tracking my progress, tracking each and every single thing that I've done, that I'm doing, and always reviewing it, reiterating it. And that's something that I've learned working with the great individuals at Viband. There's structure to it, because I think I'm the youngest person there, and that's not a jab to anyone. It's a privilege, actually, because I'm surrounded by people that have seen it, that have done the mistakes that I can possibly avoid by taking in their advices. And yes, there's still aspects of it that you have to endure to yourself, but there are areas that obviously you can avoid, because there's a funny thing about the university of life, as they say, that you have to actually experience it to actually learn about it. But for example, if you see a steaming hot water and you told yourself that, oh, but I haven't burnt my hand yet, and that's why I'm gonna put my hand in the bottom of that water so I can know how it feels. It's a valid idea, but really, you don't have to do it. Unless if you want to burn yourself, but that's the lesson that I've learned is I'm really privileged that I'm surrounded by a great environment that can actually help me through this journey, this difficult life, challenging life that we have. Especially me, I'm such a driven person that ever since I was younger, I wanted to be in the media world. I don't know specifically yet what area of it. I definitely know that I want to be a working filmmaker, a director. I know that I also want to be a digital media expert. I know that I wanted to be a great storyteller. And this year helped me to consolidate all those ideas and to put it into a roadmap. Put it into an actionable plan. Because it's easy to say that I want to be this, but I've never asked myself on how I can be this. What are the steps to be this? And surrounding, again, I'm being redundant here, but surrounding yourself with people that can help you navigate that, it's truly a privilege. And along those process, I've lost friends. I've lost people that I love, and what I meant to I've lost is they didn't die. They didn't die, so you can take it easy on that. But I've definitely had them out of my life, whether I personally cut them out or they cut me out, and it's okay. And this is where it comes down to high agency, accountability, and standing up and taking accountability on your decisions, owning up to it. Whether it's a good decision, bad decision, owning up to it. And that is hard to do. But I know that this is a part of the process. This is essential to the process, and now I feel like I'm a person walking up the hill with gears that I need. No added extra weight, meaning individuals that is not part of your journey, or individuals that are just weighing down on your hike, on your journey. And now my backpack, my gear is curated specifically for my hike. There are things, or in this case, people left behind for that specific purpose. And the biggest lesson that I've learned is accepting it. Accepting that you can't bring everyone on this journey, or you can't change yourself just to fit in on what their narrative is. Narrative in a sense that you're a good person if you're this. You're a good friend if you're this. But sometimes those requirements doesn't fit yours. Or sometimes, most of the times, the requirement that they've given to us is not on our roadmap. Our roadmap that is to strive for what we want. And that's a tough intersection to decide to decide if the friends or your loved ones is essential. Obviously everyone is essential, but if it doesn't align in your purpose, is what I'm trying to say. And if it doesn't align in your purpose, it's easier to let it go rather than keeping it for the longest time and damaging you and most importantly, damaging the people that you're around with. Yeah, that's tough. That's the biggest um, hurdle and problem that I've solved this year. And other thing too is I'm not looking forward to having no problems, because I'm certain that every day, every time, there will be endless problems. What I'm hoping is I'm a better person approaching problems. I'm a better problem solver. That is something that I wanted to be. I don't want to have no problems, because that is impossible. But what is possible is I want to limit my problems to better be equipped to handle the problems with a better problem solving mind frame, better solving self, problem solving self. And yes, and it's 33 minutes now. I don't know why I'm still wearing a seatbelt. I'm partying, but yeah, let me just drink a water. This is fun. This is fun. Okay, let's talk about 2026. There's a lot of changes, there's a lot of lessons, and there's a lot of dreams and achievements that is in front of me, in the horizon. This coming year, 2026, excuse me, I'm pushing towards the direction of personal brand. And what I meant by personal brand is me, Fraser de Mesa, is to be a brand on of its own. Whether I create movies, whether I create vlogs, whether I create platforms such as Cuento, which is something that I'm currently working now. It's a Filipino media outlet where I explore media, where I tell the great stories of Filipinos, and it's a big passion project of mine, because we know that I feel like, and I've experienced that Filipinos are only seen on this light, saying, especially here in anywhere outside Philippines, Filipinos are known as help, nanny, caregivers, hard workers, which is good, but sometimes it's exploited, and nurses, and good singers. And that's that. But as a Filipino that is born and raised in the Philippines and had my young adult life in Canada, I've seen that, wait, we're more than that. We're more than just the careers and values that I've just given the example of, that we're more than that. And living here with a much more wiser perspective, I've seen that we are so talented. We are more than just the status quo. There's a lot of great Filipino leaders in various industries, and no one's telling their story, let alone telling their story in a certain light. Because, for example, the Filipino films that are only recognized internationally are the poverty films. And by all means, there's nothing wrong with that, because I personally want to create those as well, because I believe in the power of filmmaking, and the films that I've watched and the films that are the poverty films, the films that is, what's the word for it? The films that changes people's perspective is extremely helpful because those films inspired me to become a better person. That inspired me to look at my life and actually evaluate if I'm doing things right, realizing the privilege that I have. And those are great, but there's more to it. There's more Filipino cinemas that can compete with whatever films that you have in mind. And it just sucks that they only see us as that they only see Philippines as a third world country with third world mindset. That hurts. Because this is one area that this is one reason why I wanted to be in media, is because you can help shape the narrative. And that's also a thin ice to walk on, because okay, you might be changing the narrative only for this thing, but it's hard to control other aspects of it, because you might be serving one group of people but you're definitely not helping the other group of people, and that's the next challenge that I'm going to face. But going back to the topic, is Cuento is that I wanted to help and raise the bar for Filipino stories. I wanted to showcase these great Filipino individuals and have them not hidden, because if no one's paying attention to them, or if better yet, if no one's giving respect to them, fuck that. Okay? I wanted to take matters on my own hands, and I want to take accountability on this, because if I keep on saying that I wanted to raise Filipino morale, I wanted to be, it helps me as well, because raising others means I'm elevating myself as well, and it's a great place to start. And that is something that I'm looking forward to 2026, is to showcasing Filipino excellence, showcasing who we are, introducing our culture to them. Because if other countries are getting more respect, getting more appreciation, why shouldn't we? And my realization too is one big factor of it is media. Media shapes everything. I was born in a house that is westernized, so all of the music, films, or anything, even food, was westernized. And at the time it felt cool, because like, oh yeah, I know these movies, and it definitely helped me when I moved to Canada, because I can conversate with them with things that they know, western films, western ideas. But through that journey, I've realized that I've grown to be distant with my own roots. So Cuento is not only me showcasing great talent, but it's also me finding out who I am, finding out, getting closer to knowing my Filipino self. So that's one thing, and I'll just leave it to that. 2026 is growth, self-awareness, Cuento, and discipline. Discipline, because it's easy to start something, but it's hard to maintain it. Maintaining it properly and maintaining while improving, that's the most difficult part. And those are my priorities for 2026. And you will be seeing more of these videos, and I'm really excited that you guys will be part of this journey. I'm obviously not gonna vlog everything. It's not gonna be those type of vlogs. It's gonna be more of like an essay video, a podcast. I don't know what the word will be, but a conversation. Me talking about where I am, what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, because in hopes of maybe I can be a good company to you, because I love listening to podcasts. I love listening to videos like this, and it helps me a lot. And same thing with accountability. I wanted to be that person too. I wanted to be able to provide stories as well, to provide inspiration. And yes, I hope you guys had a great 2025. I wish you the best in this coming year, but above all, I wish you guys to have the courage to push through the different terrain, challenges, and turbulence of 2026 and to come. Alright, thank you guys, and I appreciate all of you, and thank you.